After last year's tragic stampede that claimed 11 lives and exposed serious gaps in crowd management at Bengaluru's Chinnaswamy Stadium, India's sporting venues are now undergoing a major security transformation. This time, it's not just manpower on ground, but artificial intelligence at the core of stadium operations. At the center of this upgrade is Bengaluru's Chinnaswamy Stadium, where an advanced AI system powered by Staccu's Jarvis platform is being deployed to monitor crowd movement in real time and also detect potential risks instantly. Now, around 300 to 350 AI-enabled cameras have been installed, turning the stadium into a fully connected surveillance network capable of tracking tens of thousands of spectators all at once. Now, the system uses an AI layer over live CCTV feeds to analyze crowd behavior across all stands and entry points. It tracks crowd density in real time, detects sudden surges or pressure zones, flags violent behavior, identifies unauthorized access into restricted areas, and allows security teams to act before the situation escalates. Now, beyond just monitoring, AI is now powering multiple stadium functions. Let's not forget, inside stadiums, AI is being used for crowd control, for queue management, emergency response. It can detect overcrowding, it can predict bottlenecks before they form. It can also identify distress or medical emergencies and help coordinate faster action from security and medical teams. And then it supports smoother match day operations by tracking entry-exit flow and improving overall crowd movement inside the venue. But now this AI-powered surveillance model is not limited to stadiums alone. In cities like Lucknow, for instance, the police have already deployed AI-based systems and drones for real-time traffic monitoring. These tools track congestion on roads, they predict jams before they build up and send instant alerts to control rooms for faster response and rerouting. At a broader security level, India is also investing in advanced drone and anti-drone technologies. Let's not forget systems like Indrajal's AI-based platforms, other integrated drone defense solutions. They're all being developed to detect, to track, and neutralize aerial threats. Now, these technologies are designed not just for stadiums, but for protecting airports, power plants, large public gatherings, and experts believe the scope is expanding even further. From religious gatherings, festivals to disaster zones, transport hubs, and public protests, AI surveillance systems are being positioned as a critical tool for managing high-density crowds and emergency situations. So from cricket stadiums to city streets, AI is rapidly becoming a key layer of India's public safety infrastructure. But to understand really how these systems work, how they're built, how they function in real time, and where this technology is headed next, let's go across to our guest joining us this morning. We're being joined by Kumar Rajagopalan, Vice President of Dexian. Good morning, Mr. Rajagopalan. Lovely having you here.
Good morning. Good morning to both of you.
Overall, do you think we can have these systems be replicated in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, or this is still a huge infrastructure play which is restricted to your metropolitans?
Yeah, so I think it's important at this point of time because now what we have created at some point of time, a fanatical behavior of crowds. So the IPLs and others, what it has done, more than building the interest in the game, it has created the fanatical behavior of following the game. It's one side of it. It is just not restricted to only the games and everywhere. Slowly is like kind of the crowd pulling is very important. Nowadays, the marketing and branding is so important. So which requires that like when the fanatical behavior takes place, all Atul said is perfectly great that like it is to some extent it is required in terms of monitoring the crowd, building the analysis of the crowd, like where it is going wrong, so that like there is no untoward incidents happen at some point of time. But at the same time, we also bringing the AI into a place where even individuals are being built into, and that's where is like kind of it becomes much more difficult. Because the problem is like we are trying to replicate each individual more or less look alike. When it becomes more or less look alike, for example, a CSK team member representing the CSK fan base, everybody behaves like as if something which is great happening and for the CSK or something bad happening for the CSK.
Yeah.
And that kind of a moment when it happens, the natural interest in certain things falls down, and the fanatical behavior becomes more prominent. And there is no other way but to kind of use the technology to bring it down. And to some extent, like kind of now we are into a situation where we are overly dependent on the technology and the AI than the human behavior at some point of time.
Okay, we are already looking at DRS, we're looking at Hawkeye, Mr. Rajagopalan. What's the next frontier of AI in cricket, if I can just quickly swing that question? So we'll deviate a little bit and just ask you this. Do you think we're going to see AI being utilized in terms of, let's say, player fatigue or possible injury risks also? Is that the next big thing?
No, it's like kind of, if I'm not over exaggerating, at some point of time, even it's going to say that at some point of time, 11th over, somebody has to get a tea or a coffee. So it has become to such an extent that like it is more or less created a monologue of playing 11. So the earlier years, like kind of we produced great cricketers and we followed the great cricketers because of the natural ability, talent, and also the effort which is involved in it. Right now, what has happened is like we wanted to create 11 players exactly look alike, play alike, and in the name of a team game, we what we have created is like kind of creating a replica of players. And
Yeah.
like for the 11 players, we
Too
have
much
11.
over analysis comes with its own dangers, and I think that
That's right.
also is something that we need to watch out for, just not now, in the future as well, because this AI integration is as nice as it is, as easy it makes everyone's life, it does come with its own set of
Absolutely.
challenges.
So look at the number
Yeah.
of players that it's produced, or even the quality umpires, quality players, even the crowd now looking at it like, if the umpire decision is not
But there's
given,
great level of
why are
fan
they not
engagement
using the
also, Mr.
technology?
Rajagopalan. So you've got your fans engaged through and through. That long ODI game or a test format cricket, it's not just T20 is still easy to watch. But in other formats as well, it's making cricket a lot more interesting. Okay, Mr. Rajagopalan, very quickly, before we wrap up this conversation, I'm not just speaking about Jarvis here, but overall, when it comes to tech, when it comes to anything that's got to do with hardware, software, the other thought that comes to everyone's mind nowadays is obviously privacy, and B, whether or not it is capable of being hacked in some way. So how vulnerable do you think these systems are to hacking or external attacks?
So I think we have to live with that one. Nowadays we have gone in digital too far, and I think it's too much to kind of think about it whether it's vulnerable or not. If we are not going to implement, it's going to be a problem, real problem. So we have gone too far right now in a digital world, and we have to live with it, and we have to take a safety precautions to do that one. And for a crowd management, this is absolute must right now. So we have no other choice but to kind of engage with that one. But what extent like the human and the bots or even the AIs to kind of integrate so that the natural ability and also the human's potential can be retained is what like we need to look at it right now, not looking at like kind of whether we need it or not. So there is no question that like we need it right now.
Okay, there's no question. But I would just at the end of the conversation like to say that yes, technology can indeed save lives, but accountability still does matter more. And that's something that we all need to stick to. We need to pledge in our lives to be able to ensure that, we're all leading a safer life. Thank you so much to both you gentlemen for joining us on the Breakfast Club. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
a
you very
lot.
much.